Hi, welcome to Programming with Mesh. In this session, we get acquainted with Modal and learn how to use it to create a customized alert message. In the previous session, we got acquainted with toast message and used alert to display a warning message. Now I use Modal instead of these components to show the warning message to the user in a personalized way. The Modal component of React Native actually displays a page as a pop-up on the current page, and we can use any component within it. Here we try to make its content like a warning message. I create a text inside it to show the message. As you can see, Modal is visible by default. You can control its display by using the visible prop. As I said, the default value is true, and if I set it to false, it will no longer be displayed. To control this state, we create a state with a default value of false that indicates whether Modal is visible or not. Where we display the alert, we set the value of this state to true to display Modal. And we consider the state as the value of the visible prop. Well, as you can see, Modal was displayed correctly, but we cannot close it. Pressing the back button can be controlled with the onRequestClose prop. So I put a function in it that falls the value of the state. Now by pressing the back button, Modal closes. To be able to style the content inside the Modal, we create a view, and in that we create the style we want. For example, I create a square and distinguish its color from the color of the page to be seen. As you can see, the style was applied to it, but it's not in the center. Create another view and put the content inside it, and we give it a style that puts its content in the center of the page. Well, the square we created came to the center of the page. Modal background is white by default, but we can make it transparent if we want. In this case, only views that have a background color are displayed. To make the displayed Modal separate from the behind, we can use a transparent color. For example, consider black as a hex. If we put a number between 0 and 99 at the end of it, we have actually determined the transparent amount of that color, which I set to 99. Now I set the color of the square to white to separate it from the background. And I define a border for its surroundings. I round the corners a bit. Now I will create another view at the top to use as a title. Inside it, I create a text called warning. I give this view a style to separate it from the rest of the components. I round the corners to match the parent view. But we should only do this for the upper corners. I style the text to make it look better. Now we create another view as the warning body and put the text inside it. I create its style. And we also define the style of the text. To make the display text look nice, we align it in the center. Now I create a button at the bottom to do the same as the device back button and close the modal. To do this, I use the pressable component and create a text inside it. Then in onPress, I set the value of the state to false to close the modal by pressing the button. Using the style, we can separate it from the body part. I set a color for it, and I round the bottom corners. I use ripple in the button to give the user the feeling of pressing the button. By default, modal opens without animation mode. Using the animation type prop, we can specify the type of animation when it opens, which can be fade or slide. We can also use this option to increase performance, which only works on Android devices. So there we go, we got acquainted with modal and how to use it. So in the next video, we will talk about image and ways to display it. Now, if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next session.